Hello everybody and welcome to our third game of today. VonIvan, current king of the hill after just pretty much wiping the floor with Fahu. Let's not dress it up. That last game was a pretty stable win for VonIvan.
Stable win, but an absolute clattering for his opponent. But his opponent in this particular circumstance is no slouch when it comes to Company Heroes 2. Luvnest is a veteran of the tournament level scene. He's had a bit of a semi-retirement for a few months. He does from time to time, but he's back for good, baby. And this he's going to be wanting to make a name for himself in this game again.
I'm really happy to see Luvnest back. He was a little bit resistant about playing at first, but I think he's taken a little bit of time to look at the patch, to maybe try out some of the benefits, because this patch is going to shape Company of Heroes for a reasonable amount of time. There are some significant changes, but we're now in a game with two heavyweights. So this is an absolute treat when we get games like this. You know, there is no set meta right now. This is a game of wits.
It is a game of wits, and it's a game of clash and meshing play styles. Luvnest, the calculated yet incisive player. He is not a conservative player. Sometimes he is aggressive when he wants to be. VonIvan, though, is aggressive sometimes when he doesn't even need to be. He's chaotic, and he's up against a tactician in Luvnest, so it's a very interesting mesh.
One of the more deeper sides. Oh, by the way, I just have to say, I love that we are 1 minute and a half into the game and there's engagements going on all over the place. There's just no security whatsoever, no real territory controls, just pure engagements right from the go.
My friend, welcome to the Halb, where engagements are absolutely forced upon you in negative cover as well. You're going to be losing models left, right and centre. Preservation, you have to build your own green sandbags to survive.
Yeah, it's an absolutely lovely map for infantry play. You have to be so careful. Players will get their mettle tested here, and it's a great environment. I actually really have grown to love this map for this reason. I definitely think it's got its own spot in Company of Heroes. But just going back to an earlier point about these guys, you know, they are different players. You know, Luvnest is primarily a tactical map player. He's very good at spotting the holes in the lines because he has great vision at all times. As VonIvan's a little more of a, you know, a bit more of a camera freak. He loves his, loves his elevated view of in-map games. He's going to be better at microing the engagements that come in, so he might get some sneaky things off on Luvnest. There's two different styles here, and always creating interesting games.
Halb's got interestingly placed green cover near the cut-off there. Luvnest is not able to both take advantage of the heavy cover and take the cut-off. He's now forced away the conscript and he's able to do so. So interesting features.
Yep, and Luvnest here going to go with double MG as the austere, and this is probably so he can get a good lockdown on the road. He doesn't want to get flanked at all. He wants to make sure everything has some kind of protection. So double MG on this map after he's secured himself by getting his mobile infantry is a very good decision, I think. And
we're seeing double MG42 in a lot of top-level 1v1 games at the moment. And when you play like Luvnest, you can utilise them very well.
I think they're... As much as that's true, I think, you know, we've seen a lot of that by VonIvan, so that's a given, that there's going to be multiple MGs. But I think this is a sensible choice. I think this is not something Luvnest would usually do, but there's 4 cons on the field. You know, you wouldn't not build the MG in that situation.
I don't think the MG is a dirty word. It's only a dirty word recently because of maxims and people building more than 2. Having 2 MGs is a tale as old as time in Company of Heroes. It's not exactly the best 1v1 build most of the time, but it can be very situational. And it's not a dirty word to build 2 MGs for certain.
No. I mean, the kind of map control that Luvnest will be able to have once he takes all the pieces that he wants is going to be very good. Just manages to stop a decap there from the conscripts on center by double suppression from MGs. VonIvan hasn't even retreated that yet, so that's going to be a low health squad coming back onto the field. VonIvan's trying to burn units out of the green cover positions with the Flamer Flamer Engineers. I'm just not managing to get it working yet.
The one hole you give yourself and your army by going for a heavy tier 1, tier 0 build with 2 MGs, 3 Grenadiers, etc. is an early T70 push from VonIvan. If he were to go for that, we could be seeing a problem for Luvnest. Instead, though, VonIvan, he's using 15 fuel to tech for the Molotov package, Dan.
Okay, interesting. So he's going to be relying on the conscripts to do some maybe Ura and Molotov throwing. I don't. Is he going to run out of munitions doing this? That's the interesting question. If he loses his resource points now, that's going to be a very difficult strategy to keep rolling forward with. That's going to be a one-trick pony if he loses the munitions here on the left.
He's got 110 munitions, it's 15 for a Molotov. He's definitely got a few in the bag, but it's all about positioning with the Molotov play, and then micro and execution. But very importantly, you have to get your infantry in positions where they can converge on a target simultaneously and take that target out. If you don't get your timing right, or your prior push positioning, you're going to fail.
I'm not sure how well 4 conscripts is really going to do here. I mean, Axis have the long range advantage. They're going to be able to just sit on one side of the map and just easily win the engagements against conscripts. It's weird. Luvnest may have made a mistake here, though. He's let 2 squads of cons come in, plus the Flamer Engineers. They're trying to burn away that MG squad, but it will manage to get away, just avoiding the first Molotov.
And that's the beauty of 2 MGs. Luvnest retreats in time, gets the hell out of there, and then he's got the second one ready to thwart the push. Rifle grenade goes in, well dodged by VonIvan.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Keeping an eye on.
He's trying to hit around as much as possible. He's getting good value out of the conscripts, really. And look at the decapping that he's getting done right now. Every time he gets a decent push, like it's just forcing him away off areas of the map. That was a lovely Molotov on the MG. Luvnest is going to have to retreat out of that one. I don't think he's going to be able to run back, and he's going to try it. He's going to try it. He gets away with it. Of course he does. It's Luvnest.
Yeah, it's tell you what though, he does it so often. It's not just luck. He's got very good game sense as Luvnest, and his preservation speaks for itself most of the time.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
How fragile though against flames, really, you know, to be doing things like that.
One-click ability installed on that point by VonIvan. The demo charge, it was not within Luvnest's line of sight because the MG has very little line of sight. It could be losing the MG very shortly. Just behind the green sandbag, though. Not sure if that angle would currently destroy the MG.
That will kill it, yeah.
Fair enough.
Don't know why he hasn't clicked it, if I'm honest.
Possibly waiting for the right moment so he can take the weapon as well.
He doesn't have vision on it, so I guess he's not... Oh, sure, but as soon as he runs a unit in there, I wonder if that's what these conscripts were roaring in for.
Well, that MG's not going anywhere. It's going to stay there, so you'll have the opportunity very shortly. Especially with the scout car coming to help out also. So
yeah, he's going for the center now. I'm pretty sure as soon as he sees this MG is there, yeah, there we go. He blows it straight away. So it was just vision that was the problem there.
I don't think so. I think he wanted to cap the MG down. If these guys are very experienced 1v1 players, aren't they? So they don't make silly mistakes like that for no reason a lot of the time.
I don't think that was a mistake though.
It wasn't a mistake. It was design.
No, but that demo was right on the actual point itself, right? Which means
so he
that
could see the MG coming.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is he couldn't see. I checked for vision. He didn't have vision on it. So if he blew that demo and a squad was capping on the outside, he wasted the demo. So he needed to run a squad in to just confirm that that MG was sitting in the green cover sandbag.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there wasn't capping of the deck. Even that's quite advanced for VonIvan, I think.
Well, no, what I was saying is why would he, if he knew it was an MG, either way, if he knew it was an MG on that point, which he may well have done, obviously you don't think he did, but you can't be sure, he's waiting till he's got a conscript ready to take the weapon, which if he was doing that, that would be cool, but he might not be, but it would be interesting.
We'll have a little bit of a look at that. There's been another cheeky mine here from VonIvan. Luvnest looked like he actually may have used attack round there a little bit just to check. In fact, yeah, he's checking for mines there, and he's going to miss this one. He's going to miss that mine is there. I love that Luvnest is doing this. He's identified that there were engineers on this point, so he's really carefully trying to just attack around to make sure that they didn't drop anything. And very, very lucky for VonIvan, Luvnest didn't manage to find it with attack ground.
Interestingly drawn battle lines now. Luvnest has been able to push his opponent back when VonIvan seemed to have a little bit of the ascendancy for a moment. So we've had the status quo has been resumed in Luvnest's favour.
Let's have a little look at doctrine choices as well. So VonIvan has gone for shock rifle. It'd be nice to see shockbacks. Shocks aren't going to do particularly well here, I don't think. But I think, you know, the incendiary will do very well here. The incendiary will do very good if he can, you know, pin Luvnest back, and then incendiary maybe the entrance to the base, or dislodge some of the MGs. Is going to be very, very useful. AT camouflage, again, incredibly useful. Late game, probably not going to see, well, we may see the KV8, it's VonIvan, but really the IS-2 is just going to be a powerhouse of anti-infantry on the field, and it's going to have to be backed up with something else, maybe by tier 3.
The KV8 can be useful. I know it's received a few nerfs since the game was released, but overall it's still a very powerful unit, and if you use it in combination with systems, it can actually get you back into a game. But I don't think we're going to see it because VonIvan's now deploying the Tank Over Battalion Command, and we're probably going to be seeing a tier 3 build T70 SU-76.
I think he definitely needs something like that, because it's KV8 is a gamble to go for when you've got potential of Panzer IV or Stug even. And Luvnest will know. Luvnest is the kind of player that will pick up on that. If there's any unit that isn't on the field at a specific time, Luvnest will pick that kind of thing up, and will know about it. So it's going to be telltale. Having tier 3 out is a little bit more of a guessing game for Luvnest, because he's going to be thinking, well, is he going to go one unit from tier 3 in this column, or is he going to be going a couple of units from tier 3 into IS-2? Like, it's a little bit more of a gamble there, but no units by a certain point of time in the game, vehicles, is going to be pretty obvious decision.
Got a lot of people in chat spamming things at me to say. I did say in chat, if you've got any good analysis, I might read it out. Gaming Bro reckons Luvnest is going to go for G43. Chef of Death saying he's skipping T70, going straight for tier 4. I mean, we're all backseat gamers here. I mean, that's. As a caster, I get to say it's called casting, not backseat gaming. That's the only differentiation, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you can only look at it from a perspective of what's happening. It's nice to kind of be theoretical with what can happen. But at the end of the day, you know, what we're really looking for is to be surprised. That's what we love, is when, you know, things happen that we don't expect, and the engagements that aren't easy telltales. On that note, Lightning War would be a beautiful choice. There's 2 commanders in his loadout that have G43s, you know, both elite troops and Lightning War. So, you know, like, the G43s are going to throw VonIvan off. They'd be like, well, which one's he gone? He doesn't know until late game. And, you know, the differences in those 2 commanders are quite severe, you know, because if you make the wrong decision, one of them you've got, you know, Stuka, you've got Stuka Ju-87s. The other one you've got the, you know, the Elite Tiger Race, so...
Oh, we've just had Dev M, the guy with the most major Company of Heroes tournament wins in Company of Heroes history, dating from 2011 to 2016. One of them will win. Is that good enough?
That's a very Dev M analysis, and, you know... and he's right, as usual.
Yeah, but when it's like somebody like Dev M saying it, he's like, oh wow, man! That's such a deep thing to say! Wow!
I mean, I've met Dev M, and he's a very callous character. He's the things he said to Jezelin when Jezelin was, you know, Jezelin had no guard whatsoever. Jezelin was just like, I hope everyone has a nice time playing the game, and it doesn't matter who wins, put on a good show. Dev M's just like, are you ready to take me on? Like, just please try and win one game.
Oh, the T-70 diving in for the Panzer Grenadiers, gets the kill. We've got the Pack 40, however, waiting. The scout car's in position to possibly cause problems for VonIvan, but that T-70, although it was late down, 12 minutes into the game, has made a very, very quick name for itself.
It has, yeah, and of course the T-70 is no longer as efficient as dealing with infantry. That may have contributed to the MG being able to get out of there fairly reasonably, but look at the damage it's taking from the AT gun. There are a couple more shots from this, and it could go down to the scout car. It's very, very fine. Counter 18 from the conscripts, and that scout car is going to have to get out of there. It dies.
The Mosin Nagant kill for the win from the conscripts. Who in chat was saying conscripts can't do shit because they just destroyed a scout car with a rifle shot? Conscripts OP, get them within scope relic. They clearly need a major nerf.
Wow, what a loss for Luvnest, and because of that he goes in with the mobile assault. This is something, you know, we wouldn't necessarily expect to see too much anymore, but you know, this is something Luvnest
and the Puma's going mad. It's going ham for it. Luvnest, although he does fear the 18 he's not that ballsy. He was trying to get the kill on the T-70, but he's very wise, as Luvnest, Dan, and he reverses the hell out of there at the mere sight of danger.
Yeah, it was a risky move as well, because there was another conscript squad south, so he could have had some serious issues if they weren't already on the retreat. But I mean, there's engagements going on all over the place. I'm having to kind of quickly check between multiple engagements at any one time. And, you know, both these players, the map control has been inconsistent. Luvnest is leading on VPs, which puts a little bit of pressure on VonIvan. But yeah, I mean, it's still anybody's game right now. I don't think there's been any significant wins so far. You know, they're just both trading very well.
We can very quickly go through what wins we've had. The Vermat player Luvnest, he's just lost a Panzer Grenadier, and an MG42 team was decrewed, and of course the scout car. His opponent, VonIvan, hasn't lost a damn thing.
Wow. That's impressive with a 4 conscript build.
Really is. You always expect to lose at least 1 conscript when you're playing Soviets, in my opinion. It's always okay to do. Because they're Russians, they're expendable, right? That's what Relic told me, anyway. Yeah, it's very good preservation from the VonIvan, and it is looking quite strong, to be honest, despite the lack of VPs.
Yep, he's doing well, and his Doctrine choice, I believe, is still relatively hidden, so it's going to be a nice surprise when that comes on the field. Mobile Assault versus IS-2, I think, is actually a pretty good matchup for VonIvan.
Yes.
Especially if you can get that Puma down and keep Luvnest in that kind of death loop of building the Puma and not teching. That would be a huge setback for Luvnest.
16 minutes in, VonIvan already has his 11 CPs and counting, 11 1/3 CPs. Luvnest trailing behind, but Luvnest doesn't have the heavy late game call-ins to utilise. Oh god, we've got an interesting engagement up north there. Puma's hunting down, he smells blood.
Yeah, he missed the first shot, which was unfortunate. Isn't going to get the T-70, and he's making the right decision by not going in there. And this is good. It's nice to see a game where right decisions are being made, because we've seen a lot of, you know, inappropriate rushes. Luvnest is like one of the best calculating players in this game. You know, he's like Hans in a respect where, you know, he knows what engagements he's not going to win. He won't make that kind of gamble. He's not a gambler. You know, he just wants to play safe, play correctly, and gets rewarded for it. So I hope everyone watching is kind of going to look at Luvnest and really see
astute
the
gambler.
method.
I know he does go all in sometimes. We've seen him do it against Hans, notably in the ESL March finals, for example. But he has to make sure that the deck is weighted in his favour, the cards are stacked in his favour, and that's the best way to play Coming Heroes. You have to get the engagements on your terms, then when they're on your terms you push, you go for the jugular, you make the killing blow, and that's the kind of player Luvnest is. It's about calculated gambles.
Well, we have a Command Panzer IV on the field right now. That's going to cause a little bit of trouble for the heavy infantry build from VonIvan. And also, that's a nice early time to bring this unit out, so there's a chance that may be able to get some veterancy for these Pumas as they come up against that horrible task later on in the game against the IS-2, which is relatively inevitable.
Good play from the T-70, pushing back into the things, keeps that conscript alive on retreat, and that's great. Just to talk about T-70's Pumas. Pumas now have had their roles more defined. Aim shot no longer kills infantry finally, as of 1.8. Very defined anti-vehicle unit, but the T-70 is still an anti-infantry unit. It hasn't had a nerf as such overall, or that at least is the intent. It now deals consistent damage. Not one-shot squad wipes, it's meant to just deal enough damage to push the infantry away.
Yeah, I mean, it has been relatively good in its role. I don't think I've identified really any problems with the T-70 in the last couple of patches. I think it's been, you know, it's just been very well constructed. It's in a nice place right now.
The last couple of iterations of the Winter Balance patch, you mean? Sorry. Just
Yeah.
to clarify. Yeah,
Yeah.
good. I thought that's what you meant. We have had now 8 iterations, and if you're wondering why 8, I think it's because I get the general impression, I'm probably not allowed to be specific, I have to pretend I just kind of have a loose feeling, that there are going to be 10 iterations in total, and I think it's going to hit in early March. That would be my gut instinct.
Here is the
reality.
beast from the east. The IS-2 has just entered the battlefield. It is IS-2 versus Command Panzer IV and Puma. There is one AT gun on the field for Luvnest with no stun ability at the moment because of no veterancy. So this is a nice time for the IS-2 to dominate areas of the field. Again, no real big wipes for VonIvan so far. He's getting a lot of veterancy behind him. Still still got everything at his finger to try and turn things around. The only problem is, of course, map control and VPs.
50 tons of crude iron ore from Soviet Russia. It's got 122 millimeters of bunker busting capabilities that rattle tanks and destroy them just for sheer weight of kinetic mass alone. It doesn't even need to penetrate, it just earth shatters like Reinhardt.
Love how you went a little bit pirate there on that analysis. IS-2 just wipes a Grenadier, so here come the start of the losses for Luvnest. The AT gun is in position, trying to penetrate the front armor. It doesn't manage to, and now we're seeing the incendiary ability off map come in. There's the stun round come off the AT gun. It does actually stun the tank. There was no turret lock there, so, and I thought that was one of the changes you mentioned,
Yes, it's meant to give a blind ability now. Just as a correction, because obviously this will go on YouTube, etc., and it should be correct. Mr. Smith has just informed me, aim shot does not kill units on retreat anymore. It can still kill units that are in a state of not retreating. Just a clarification there. I like that.
T70 here is going to try and get line around the AT gun. This should be able to deal with the AT gun whilst the IS-2 confidently goes in from the front. It doesn't want to take another target weak point. That's still on recharge. This is delicate right here. AT gun is going to go down. The IS-2 can still push through the middle. Is this VonIvan's time?
It's VonIvan's time indeed. He's got T70 behind the Pak-40, decrewing it. IS-2, 40% health remaining. He's got 2 major targets in his mist, but he's just run into the lines of another Pak-40.
There we go, that is brilliant smoke popped by the Puma there. The AT gun's probably going to try and take some attack ground shots through the fog. It doesn't manage to. Puma's still trying to penetrate front armor. There goes the Puma. This looks like a win engagement for VonIvan if he can get those 2 units out.
You said it was good smoke from the Puma, Dan. I absolutely disagree, because that smoke stopped the Pak-40 from killing the IS-2. It's a little bit of bad luck in my opinion. And then, of course, the Puma rattles a shot against the frontal armor of the IS-2 and misses and loses its life because of that. So a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance for Luvnest there.
Perfect. Mr. Smith in chat, by the way, just confirmed with the AT gun. AT gun still does stun. It's actually only turret and the blindness thing for the Stooks.
We're gonna have to. People are having to learn and read the patch notes. I do ask Mr. Smith, please make a merged version, a new one. Every time we need a merged version. T70's going ham here. We've got a freshly built Puma though to surely end its life.
Wow, that was crazy. T70 goes down there. IS-2, I can't believe how low health this is. Still confidently trying to push. Now the Command Panzer IV has an opportunity to get round the back, but it doesn't. AT gun isn't going to be able to get shots. How ballsy of VonIvan to keep the IS-2 so far up the field.
He has big Russian balls in this case. He's repairing this big hunk of steel right in the midst of Luvnest's armed forces. He's just giving it enough health to contend, and then he throws it back in. But unfortunately, as he's lost his T70 now, he can't decrew the AT guns anymore, so the IS-2 is coming up against a hard front.
Really, this is so crazy ballsy. There we go.
He's absolutely reaped the benefits of his own ballsiness. He destroys both vehicles and may just get out of there. He does need to decrew the Pak-40 though. He manages to do it with combat engineers.
Wow, that's incredible. Luvnest throws in the towel. VonIvan king again. What a crazy game. Luvnest controlled so much of the game there. I personally think mobile defense, that was Luvnest kind of playing live patch things in the current balance, and I think mobile defense is set to become a really weak commander if you dive straight into the Puma like that. And bear in mind, T70 now is not like so killer on anti-infantry, so there was no reason to dive Puma, absolutely no reason whatsoever, and I think that hindered him.
I think VonIvan hindered him. I think VonIvan had something in his trousers then that Luvnest just couldn't handle, and that was repairing an IS-2 in your opponent's territory just to give it 30% health. All the while you have to decrew the Pak-40 at the same time. I've seen VonIvan make great plays in the past where he's utilised blobbing, but I've never seen him do something that required things coming from all angles quite like that. Massively impressed by that play from the American. Great play.
Yeah, that was a really good game. Anyway, we'll finish that one up. GG to VonIvan. He has 2 games now as King of the Hill, and we're going back to the lobby.